Hang on. Ay, ay, ay. Well, apparently we did it again. I did it again. Oh boy. Well, good morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Home Built Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live, where I guess we're vertical today. I can't figure this thing out. It changes. I don't know why. Yeah. Anyway, we're just gonna roll with it. This is we're used to this by now. Sorry about that. Oh, let's see. Brian's here. Brian says, "Got to work today." I'm sorry, Brian. Not working in the shop. That's anyway. Hope you're doing awesome. Paul's here. Paul, greetings, everyone. Mike's here. Morning, all. Good morning. There, Paul, you beat me to it. Is he going to be full screen or just windowed this week? Harry dude, portrait or landscape? Place your bets. I love it. Paul says portrait for 3. Let's see. We're portrait. So Paul, there you go. I don't understand, because when you set it up, you hit the button and then you schedule the live stream. The only thing I didn't do the same was leave everything. I went to using the phone and other stuff. So I don't know if anyway. Paul says, unless the missus sets it up for him. You know, it would probably work right if we did that. It probably would. Paul says, I win. Yep. Oh, boy. Harry Dude says, what's up? Harry Dude, what's going on? How's everybody down in Australia? Robert, hello, peoples. How's everyone doing? Robert, we're doing good. We're a little cooler here today. This has been our coldest morning here so far this year. 28 degrees, I think it was, which isn't terrible. What is that? 28. What's that? Minus 1 or 2 Celsius? Is that? Yeah, something like that. But we're doing good. Patty's here. Patty, what's going on? Patty says, hey, how you doing? We're doing well. How are you doing? Right on. Glad you could stop by. That's awesome. How's things going for you? Looks like you're staying busy. And Wayne's here. Wayne says, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Wayne. How's your Wednesday going for you? Time surfing alien. We do not control the horizontal. I know. Apparently, I don't either. We're at the mercy of however it decides to work, I guess. There's got to be some secret, something that I'm doing wrong. I haven't been able to figure out what that is. It's very strange. Here, dude says it's warming up here. I'm not complaining at all. I didn't figure you would be. Things are getting warm. You don't have to worry about the heat and all that. And we're just really transitioning into the heat. I had the heat running in here this morning so that it's not super cold. I think I don't know, it's about 60 or so in here right now, which isn't too bad. We are in beanie season now, though. Paul says, outer limits in Colorado. There's nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling the transmission. Oh, boy. Yep, I don't know. I don't get it. Patty says, doing okay. Yep, crazy busy, but we'll take that. Yes, that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Got to get everything ready for winter and finish up those last minute projects to, just to prepare for, well, what's to come. That's awesome. Are you still getting some miles in? Getting some ride time? The weather holding out for that? Cheers, everyone. I got my coffee here this morning. Hope you have your beverage of choice, whatever that may be. Cheers. Robert says they're predicting rain here today, and I sure hope we get the rain, as high fire danger alert for more of the state than have been for a while. You know, we have the same thing. I don't know if it was yesterday or maybe later today. I think it was yesterday, because we had all afternoon ridiculous winds, and I think our fire danger was, I don't know what they call it, a red flag warning or something like that. It was really windy. Yesterday morning started out really nice, most of the morning, but as we got closer to noon, the wind picked up, and oh my goodness, all afternoon it was crazy. I only heard of one fire sort of locally. I think it was just up the hill into the mountains a little bit. I don't know. Last I heard, it was only like 6 or 8 acres or something like that. So hopefully, I haven't heard anything else about it. Hopefully they got that under control, because I don't like that. Tony, morning sunshine, Tony says. Tony, morning. How are you today? How's your day going? And there's Sam. Sam's here. Sam says hello, everyone. Good morning, Sam. Wait, good afternoon, Sam. How are you doing? We missed you. Hope you're doing all right. So what's everybody working on? What sort of projects do you have on your bench this week? Paul, have you been able to get out in the shop yet at all? How's that recovery going? Hopefully well. Right on. So around here, what are we working on? Well, again, sort of finishing up a couple of little last minute projects. Has nothing to do with the weather, but that big belt sander, I've been getting parts in for that. So I'm trying to clear the workbench of little projects. And the one I was working on yesterday was just a simple picture frame. Hey, look, it fits in the frame. I could just do this, and it's like one of those, what do they call them? Those filters or whatever. Yeah, so just finishing up some little things like this to get them all done. This one's for my daughter, for a poster that she's got. She wanted a frame for it, so put this together. Finish is almost, I can still smell it a little bit. I'm going to let it dry for a little bit longer before I actually put the artwork in there, but it's pretty cool because it's spalted maple, which I think is pretty awesome. I've never made a spalted maple frame, but I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to get this done. She's actually pretty excited. I showed her the spalted maple, and she thought it was pretty neat. So just doing another picture frame video. And yeah, got some little dowels here to reinforce the joints rather than doing splines or something like that. But I'm really happy with this. Got the finish applied last night, so it dried overnight. It's still pretty strong smelling, so I don't want to put the artwork in just yet. But got this done. I'm going to work on editing that video this afternoon. And then I think this will clear, my plate so that we can jump into working on that giant belt sander. I got a few parts in for that. We got some inexpensive linear rails for something I want to try. I got the power switch and stuff has come in. The only thing I'm really lacking yet is some steel. I'm going to have to go to the steel yard and pick up some materials for that so I can build some L brackets, basically, that'll allow me to tip that thing up on its side. I've already sort of worked out most of the details in my head and a little bit in Fusion. I kind of sketched a few of these dimensions up in Fusion, and I'm just trying to work out the majority of everything, but wrapping up some small things in preparation for working on this sander, because I think it might take a little bit of time. So just trying to wrap up these projects so I don't have to worry about it. Anybody, you guys do that? You got, half a dozen things you got to get done. But if you jump to the one thing that you really, really want to start on, you're always in the back of your mind thinking about, man, I got to get that other thing done or those other couple projects. So I like to get them. I like to get the other ones cleared first. That way, it's not in my head, and I can just work on the whatever it is, the focus on the project at hand. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with this little frame. I kind of want to make some more now. I should have made several of these at once, but I didn't, because well, then I got to store them, and then I'll forget where I store them. But yeah, turned out really good. I think Haley's going to really like it. It's going to work good for what she needs. And then soon we'll be getting started on that sander, hopefully later this week. Like I said, I got to go to the steel yard, which is not a big deal. The only thing that I'm not really looking forward to is typically it takes them a little bit of time. So if I drive down there, and it's probably, I don't know, it's probably 30-minute drive from here, maybe even 40, probably closer to 40 minutes. So I'm not super far, but when I go down there and I get the order in, they don't just like have a guy that just goes out and cuts it, and a couple minutes later you've got the materials. It usually takes some time. So that means I'm going to have to come back home and then go down a second time, and I just got to suck it up because that's what I have to do. But yeah, I gotta get down there and get that material, and then we can fire up the welder and start making some parts for that thing. I'm excited to tear into it. Robert says currently 74 here with 71% humidity and a 22-mile-an-hour wind. Wow. 74 though, that's not bad, even with a wind. Sam says, I've been factory resetting my desktop computer. Well, that sounds like fun. Not really. That is one task that I do not enjoy. You know, even if it's, you know, maybe building a new computer, or for some reason you have to reformat the hard drive, getting everything reinstalled and getting all your logins and all of that stuff is just a drag for me. I do not enjoy that. Tony says, working on inventory for Christmas for my Etsy shop. Yes. It's hard to believe that Christmas is less than 2 months away. It just seems like this year is just gone. Even though when I think back, you know, we did a lot of stuff this year, and it's not over yet, but man, it's almost Christmas. So yeah, it is time to ramp up the Christmas projects. Paul says, spent birthday at the hospital. Ankle got really infected. They have me on meds for that. Found a few more stitches that they missed. Oh, good grief. Scanned ankle. All are out now. Therapy on hold for now. Man, Paul, sorry about that. That's a drag. Hopefully they got everything sorted out. You know, the meds kind of clear out the infection and stuff. But man, sorry you're facing that little bit of, I don't know, setback. I don't know if you call it a setback or not, but man, hopefully everything you got to keep it moving forward. So best of wishes for that. Robert says the refinish of the shoe rack turned out pretty well. Frame does look good. Well, thank you, Robert. Yes, I'm happy with the shoe rack, and I'm also happy that I decided to just go ahead and spray, because that worked awesome. The only thing which I briefly mentioned in that video was I messed up a little bit. When I sprayed that, especially the top, I went across the grain, which was a big mistake. If it was just a clear product, it would have been fine. But since I was spraying a tinted finish, there's a little bit of banding in the finish. Mainly probably because I didn't have my overlap I didn't have correct, or had too fine of a spray pattern, too fine of a fan pattern on the spray gun. So I got a little bit of banding. I'm not too worried about it for this particular project, but had I gone with the grain, I don't think it would have been as pronounced, even if I got the same banding. It's just a little bit wonky in a couple spots, but I am so glad I tried that, because that, I think, in my opinion, was the way to go. testing the regular brush, like the can says, the instructions, did not give good results. And the foam brush, like I did that test on the live last week. Foam brush was better, but ultimately just throwing it in the spray gun and spraying it, hands down, the way to go. But in the instructions don't say anything about that, which it was kind of strange. So knowing that this process works, I do have a couple other pieces, some end tables that I made, I don't know, probably around that same time I made that shoe rack. They're also out of pine and have that weird yellowish look. I think I'm going to end up spraying those off camera, I'm sure, because it's be exactly the same video, pretty much. But I'm probably going to respray those just to change the color a little bit. I'm really happy with the way the finish looks. Everything laid down nice. A couple of things I learned on the shoe rack that I'll be able to transfer over to these other pieces. So I think maybe before it gets wicked cold, I think I might spray those. Otherwise, I'm going to have to probably wait till spring because I can't spray them in here. That's why I sprayed that one outside. I didn't want tinted overspray all over everything. But yeah, pretty happy with how that went, actually. It was kind of a fun little test, too. Harry Dude says, whenever I see spalted wood, my brain says, ooh, look, cartoon wood. It's the black outlines. Yes, there is something cartoony about that. But it's just it just looks cool. I don't know. And I've got a lot of this stuff. I need to try to use some more of it for different projects because I've got, I don't know, 6 or 8 pretty decent size slices of it here. I've got probably, I don't know, a dozen more pieces of this back east stacked up in the rafters in my brother's garage. So I think I might, I got to try to work it in for some more projects. And that's really how it came about for this. I was looking around at what materials I had that I could use for some frames, and I saw all of this because I recently reorganized all the materials that I have, and I realized I got quite a bit of this, so I got to use it for some other stuff. So don't be surprised if you see more of this in the future for different things. It's just cool looking material, and one, it's maple, which I like maple anyway, but spalted maple, it's pretty cool. Sam says, I've been framed. And Paul says, spalting looks great on the frame. Yeah, I wasn't sure at first, how it would look. But once I started milling up this stock, I'm like, okay, yeah, I think that's going to be pretty cool. And then, of course, like most everything, once the finish hits it, it just brings out, all the colors and everything. And it's just super neat. Especially this area right here, there's just a lot of different colors. I mean, there's that like really light spot and like some different, just the different colors in there. Really neat. This side has some too. It's just really cool. Look, there's even just a tiny little bit of some sort of a figure right there, which is kind of cool. Yeah, just overall turned out awesome. I can't wait to get the artwork put in there, give it to my daughter. We'll hang it up in her room or something, and yeah, it'll be good. Oh, I got a little tip. I don't know if we could call it a pro tip, but going along with the picture frame idea. We'll get back to the comments. So, when you're building a frame, that's one of the cool things about building a frame. You build it to customize the size, right? To fit whatever it is you need. A lot of times if you go to the store, you're kind of stuck with, standard sizes. I mean, there's a lot of different sizes, but there's sort of standards. This one in particular is a standard size as well. This is an 11 by 17 frame. So when you're building a frame, one thing that I've started doing with the last few frames I've made, instead of cutting the glass or acrylic or whatever it is you're using for the clear front, if it's a standard size frame, I've started just going to the store, buying the cheapest frame possible just to get the glass and the backer. I went to the store the other day. I don't want to break the glass. I went to the store the other day and I just bought the cheapest frame. I mean, this is like I don't even know if that's wood. It actually looks like MDF. But I bought the absolute cheapest frame I could find in 11 by 17. This gets thrown in the trash. And I keep the, I don't know if I can do this. You keep the, anyway, you guys know. You keep the backer and the glass. And then you put it in your new nice handmade frame. And it's a lot quicker. It's a lot easier than, trying to buy a piece of glass, cut the glass, break one of the pieces of glass, cut another piece of glass, run out of glass, have to go back to the store, buy more glass. I just go to any store that sells picture frames and buy the cheapest one just to get the guts to put in your nice new frame. So I don't know if that would be like a pro tip or something, or maybe you already do that, but that's what I've started doing, and it works really well. Of course, now if you're doing a custom size to fit a particular thing, most likely that won't work, but I bet you could buy one that's oversized if you can find one and cut the glass down. May or may not be cheaper than buying a piece of glass, but there's a tip, something to keep in mind. If it is or not helpful, I don't know. Let's see. Robert says, sorry for the setback, Paul, but hope it gets better now. Me too. Robert says, thanks. Couple days on meds. It's starting to look better. Awesome. Sam, super chat. Right on. It says, towards the coffee. Thank you, Sam. Right on. I appreciate that. Got to keep that coffee flowing. Cheers. Paul says, just got my new MacBook Pro. Love it over Windows. Boot machine, plug-in recovery drive. 2 hours later, it's working. That sounds pretty good. Robert says, at least the spray of the finish proved the concept. Yes, that's kind of what I was hoping to do. Just wanted to try it. Like I mentioned, ever since I made those little shelves earlier this year, that little rolling shelf deals from the stair treads, I thought about spraying it. And that idea has been in the back of my head. Another one of those things that is always back there, and until I try it, I can't get it out of my head. So that was part of the reason for doing that. I wanted to get it done, because we're going to use that little shelf, that little shoe rack for something, for a different area. But yeah, just wanted to get it done so it's out of my head. Jimmer's here, Jimmer. Jimmer says, innovator. Oh, you know what, Jimmer? No, I had those last week. That's right. Jim, what are you working on today? Paul says, on pine, if you apply a light coat of sanding sealer, the finish will look nicer, less splotchy. Interesting. I didn't have a whole lot of splotchiness. It was just the color. I used just regular Danish oil originally when I built that thing almost 10 years ago. And is same thing with the other pieces, the little end tables that I want to redo. I use Danish oil over pine, and it's just, I've discovered that it's not my complete favorite. But yes, I have heard that, pine you can get the splotchiness. I didn't encounter that on this particular project. It's just overall the color. But yeah, sanding sealer, seal it up. That way, the finish goes on more even. So yeah, good tip right there. Thank you. Paul says, spalted wood looks beautiful as guitar tops. Yeah, I got some wide enough. I might have some wide enough for one piece. I just have no way to slice it down for one piece. Yeah, I got quite a lot of spalted maple. And it's cool because it all came from my family's property in Pennsylvania. We were there several years ago. It was probably 4 years ago now. And some trees had been trimmed, some big, pretty good sized branches, and they just were laying there. And we were going to cut them up for firewood because we'd do like a campfire kind of thing. And I sliced one, and when it the two pieces, I was using a chainsaw, sliced it in half, and when it came apart, I could see the spalting in there, and immediately I'm like, whoa, hold on. I can't burn this. So there's a small Amish community nearby, so we loaded up all those pieces and took it to the Amish community over there where they have a sawmill, and they sliced it up for me. And I've been bringing home what I can when we go back there, and the rest is just stashed away for another day. Sam says, never go into a furniture manufacturer and ask to see stool samples. Oh boy. They might not see what you're hoping for. Yeah. Sam, oh boy. Robert says, you might try spraying some of the finish over that maple. Maybe. I don't know. I like the look. I don't know if I'd want to dye, put a stain over it, but it might look cool. I could do a test piece. I've got a couple scraps. You never know. It might hide the spalting too much. And Matt's here. Matt coming in with a super chat. Right on, Matt. Matt says dance monkey. I need those little symbols. Matt, thank you. Thank you. What are you up to today? What's on your workbench? Right on, Matt. Thank you. Hope your day's going good. Matt here with Zimbelman Guitars in the house. What's on your bench? We want to know. What repairs, builds? Give us more information. Harry Dude says, I'm a big fan of acrylic for picture frames. I've had some glass-filled frames fall off the wall and smash. Not fun. I have had that as well. Cutting when you use glass. I like the glass. But yes, I think ultimately if I was going to go buy material for this particular project, I would have just bought some thin acrylic because one, I know how to cut glass. It's not my favorite. It's just a lot easier to cut a piece of acrylic down. I would have, probably some 1/8 acrylic or something like that. But if I couldn't have found this frame already with the glass cut, and I have had a few break, but I've also broken a few trying to cut them too. So, but yeah, I agree with that. I do like the acrylic a lot better. It's easier to cut, smells terrible, but easier to cut, and you don't get that sharp edge from glass. It's just, I think overall it's better. But in this case, for me, this one's glass. If I break it, I'll just replace it with acrylic. Patty's laughing at Sam. Yeah, Sam's always comes in with the with the laughs. Donna's here. Donna says, hey, coffee up. Coffee up. Cheers. How are you doing today, Donna? And Jimmer's working on a Mercedes-AMG V8 twin turbo. Ooh. I bet the test drive will be fun. Nice. Paul says, if you want and would pay postage, send me some of the spalted wood. I can mill it into tops for free. Well, I might. Let me go through and see what I've got that would work. I think most of what I have would work for tops. Does yours, can you do a full one-piece top? Or is it just, would it be a two-piece top? Because, either one's fine. I just know that I have at least one I think might be wide enough. Oh, he says, or I'll pay postage if I can get a top. Oh, we could do that for sure. Matt says, wasting time. Wasting time? There's repairs to be done, my friend. Oh, I got your can of belt spray. It's sitting right there. I just got to get into town, which maybe today. Let's see. Oh, and a K&K pickup install. Oh, Larry, sorry, I'm going to take that down because we don't go there on this one. I'm sorry. This is not the place, my friend. Ooh, almost choked. Paul says, I can do 13 inches of resaw. 13? That might work. I'll see what I have. I'll see how wide they are. Let's see. Sam says, is there an electric guitar with the same string characteristics as an acoustic guitar? I'm in a small apartment with neighbors both sides, and I don't want to disturb them with loud acoustic practice. Really, an acoustic? Is an acoustic too loud for an apartment? I have seen, I forget what they're called. I'm going to need your guys' help, Matt. I have seen acoustics that are meant to be more of a, I don't want to say silent, but yes. I forget what they're called exactly. I don't know if it's more of a practice acoustic, but what are those? Is it the ones without a sound hole? Oh, you know what you might try? One of those sound hole covers. You ever seen those? I've never used one, but I wonder if that would help. Bring the noise level down. I'm surprised though if that an acoustic is too loud for neighbors. I mean, I guess maybe if you're really wailing on it, but yeah, that's interesting. But I know there's things you can do. So I want to hear from you guys. What are some suggestions? I don't know all of the different options, but I know that there's more of the silent type acoustics, maybe a sound hole cover. I don't know. What do you got? Let's see if we can get Sam fixed up, because you got to be able to practice and play at home. Paul says, I have a silent acoustic guitar. Look at Yamaha. Works great. You can order steel or polystring versions. There's an option. There you go, Sam. Heritage says you can buy mutes for them. Big rubber thing that plugs a sound hole. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Let's see. Tyrone says, I love your planes. Oh, up here? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I wouldn't say I'm not like a collector of planes, but I do enjoy them. I don't use them a ton, but I think they're great. And I'm still working on having the full set, at least. They're not all the same vintage, but they're all old Stanleys. We go from a number 2. I got 2, 3, 4. There's 2 5s and a 6. I still want to get a 7 and an 8. Knocking stuff down. And then there's a few in between, like I don't know what they are, 4 and 4.25 or 4.5 and 5 and 3. There's a few other ones. I'd like to have the full number set just because, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Sam says, thanks, Paul. We'll look into it. A Yamaha Silent Guitar SLG 200. SLG 200. Let's see. Let me look one up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could find one of those. Oh, that's the hollow looking version of it. Oh, that's kind of cool. I wish I should have this set up where I could share screens, but I don't. Maybe I need to work on that. Drizzy Guitars is here. What's up? Drizzy Guitars. How's your day going? What's on your bench? Sam says, practice. I'm first-time learner, but I'll have to practice still. Yeah, see? It's fine, Sam. Get after it. You can get it done. Nothing wrong with that. It's very, I don't know how to put that out there. It's fun. Maybe a little frustrating if you're just truly getting into it, but just keep going. I remember, I would sit for hours trying to just do, G, C, and D chords cleanly, and that's where I would even start. But yeah, just keep at it. Once you get going, It's great. So that's going to be awesome. I'm glad to hear that you're going to get started. Robert says, I've seen someone build a guitar. They had the wiring set up to use earphones or a headset. I think I have seen stuff like that. I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff. Stuff with built-in amps right into the guitar. It's got a speaker in there, or I've seen them built into the case. You don't see that too much anymore. A lot of these, I think, were older ones. But yeah, there's, the sky's the limit. Oh, speaking of guitars, I may have mentioned it last week, actually. I think I did. Did I tell you that I finally got my parts from Hipshot? 2 little string trees, and it took like 2 or 3 months to get these in. I got to put them on, but never will I order straight from Hipshot again. Sam says, is it available in the UK? I don't know. I would imagine. I'd have to spend a little bit of time searching around, but probably. If you can buy Yamaha guitars over there, which I don't know why you wouldn't be able to, I'm sure you can get one. Yes. Oh, Sam. As a guitarist, how does one get replacement G strings without getting weird looks? You just walk into the store and you buy the whole pack. Don't ask for just the G string. Then you don't get any weird looks. Oh boy. Paul says, my silent acoustic has both a headphone plug and a regular amp plug. Oh, okay. So does it have a preamp that takes a 9-volt or something maybe to power the headphone output? I'm guessing. I could probably read about it, but I don't want to be staring at the computer while I'm trying to talk with you guys. Heritage says you can ask for them by gauge. That's a good point. Yeah, you just then you got to know, of course, what string set you got. But yeah, that's another option. I need a 32 gauge. Don't say it's the G. Yeah. What would that be? Yeah, maybe a 32. I don't know. Depends on what your string set is. Robert says, I think the builder was Goth Rider Creations. It was a guitar he built for his wife. Well, that's cool. Sam remembers those cool headphone amps that clips onto the belt. Yes. We used to have, or a friend of mine used to have, it was this little Marshall thing, little battery Marshall. I think it had a pocket clip or belt clip. But I remember several times we would just go to the park. This is a long time ago. Go to the park and like bring my acoustic, and he'd bring his electric with this little amp, and we'd just like sit there and just like jamming. It was pretty neat. I heard it says Marshall MS2 or MS4. That might have been it. But I know it was a little Marshall, this little tiny thing. I think it took probably a 9-volt. I don't even remember exactly. And yeah, it was kind of neat. I think it had this like a little bit of overdrive on it. And it didn't sound great, but it worked, and it was fun. Yep. So now that I've gotten a couple little projects cleared off, next up, like I said, I'm going to start working on that giant sander. Oh, Matt, if you're still on here, you got to see this sander that I picked up to make like an edge sander for sanding things like, I don't know, 40-something plaques that I'm going to be making next year. I bought this giant belt sander, 8 inches wide, 109 inches long, basically 4-foot, 8-inch wide belt sander. Some homemade deal, super cool, and converting it into an edge sander so that hopefully next year I just sand the sides. But I'm getting ready to start on that here pretty quick. Should be pretty cool. I love homemade machines and stuff like that. Heritage says, got to go, folks. Just finishing up on site. Time to go home. Stay well, everyone. Catch you all next week. Right on, Harry, dude. Safe travels home. Be safe. I know it's early in the morning over there, but right on. Have a good one. Glad you could stop in for a bit. Go get some rest. And enjoy your nice warm weather. Robert says, Harry, dude, have a good one. Drive safe. Yeah. But yes, so this sander that I'm going to be working on, they said I got to go to the steel yard, pick up some, I think I'm going to use C channel. I wish I had it over here, but I'd moved it, and I could kind of show you my plan. But I'm going to use some C channel to weld up some L brackets that I can then bolt to the back side, and then bolt the, boy, I'm like all over the place here, but weld up some L brackets. One will get bolted to the back of the sander. The other one will get bolted to the table. That'll hold it upright. The table I'm putting it on is narrower than the sander, by almost a perfect amount too. So then the motor, which when it was laying flat is in an L, so everything's going to tip up. The motor will mount to the table. I'll have to weld on some pieces there that I can bolt the motor to, and I think it's going to line up perfect, or very close. Probably have to shim it out just a little bit to get everything to line up. I've got some ideas for the table, because I want to build a 90-degree table to the belt that you can also height adjust. Because after thinking about it, if I just built a table, you'd always be sanding at the bottom of the belt. The belt's 8 inches wide. I don't want to always sand in the same spot. So I'm going to mount this table on some linear rails that'll slide up and down with one of those. Let me grab it. Hang on. I'm stepping out of frame. My plan is to mount the table on linear rails with bearings, and then one of these little screw clamp deals mounted underneath to be able to raise and lower the table. That way, it's adjustable, height adjustable. You don't always have to sand in the same spot. And this is the press clamp, the exact same style press clamp that I used for my acoustic side bender. I'm just going to mount it under the table. So I'll have to drill holes in this. Probably. This will get mounted to the underside of the table, and then when I want to raise it up, I can just raise and lower the table. I think it'll work pretty well. Power switch. This is the exact same power switch that I have on my 2x72 belt grinder. It's been fine. It's just cheap. I don't even remember the brand, but it's pretty inexpensive, and the one that I have already has been working great. So I think I've got about everything that I need except that C channel. I just got to get to the steel yard. So yeah, I'm really excited to get started on that. I think it's going to be cool. As I've already mentioned, I've done quite a bit of cleaning. Matt has been here. Matt knows that I don't have a lot of space. It's pretty cramped. But I've been doing a lot of cleaning, got rid of a lot of little scraps of wood and just different things to make some space. I've got an area basically cleared out where this sander is going to live when it's done. So yeah, it's been quite a project since I picked this sander up, just preparing. But it's gonna be cool. Matt says Jeff needs a new, bigger shop for the sander. It's a giant sander. It's super awesome. Somebody back in the day, somebody's grandpa or something made this thing. It smells like old musty basement, and it's awesome. And honestly, I wish it was something I had made like this, but that's the main reason I got it, because it's super cool. Sam says, watching the stream on my Samsung Galaxy tablet. Nice. Says, looks like he's doing karate. Yeah, well, you just never know, Sam. You just don't know. Robert says, if you have space to have one delivered, look for government auctions for shipping container. I've seen a few that cost of the container is less than the cost to have it delivered. I've thought about that. Even a small one would be kind of cool, because then I could just put materials in there. If I could get materials out of here, and that would free up a lot of space. I mean, I shouldn't say a lot of space, because overall it's not a lot of space, but I do have a lot of materials stored in here. And if those were someplace else, that would help greatly. Sam says doing long names is difficult on a little tablet computer without auto selection of names. Interesting. Yeah, I don't like typing a lot at all, even like on my phone. Like if I have to do some long description or something, I just don't enjoy it because it gets weird. Robert says at least something to think about. Oh, absolutely. It's absolutely something to think about. Because I'm always thinking about, other things, or other ways to do stuff, other ways to, you know, uh, get creative with the limited space that I have. Overall, though, even after the last week or two of cleaning up, I'm actually fairly happy with the way things are. I got a couple more areas and things to sort of sort out, to get, just to fine tune a little bit of that organization. But I think at the moment, like it's decent. I'm never, while this is my shop, I don't think it's ever going to be perfect because it's just not that big. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with the amount of projects that I'm able to do in this small space. So if you only have a small space to work in, don't get discouraged on that. You just have to know your limitations, right? Am I going to build a giant dining room table in here? Nope. I'm just not. There's physically not enough room. A dining room table is something that I want to build. I want to build one, but it's not going to happen in here. It's just not. Am I going to build a big giant chest of drawers? No. I know the limitations here. The big giant projects, it's just not something I'm going to do at the moment. And I'm okay with that because there's plenty of smaller projects and guitars and things to do that one day we'll have more space and we'll be able to get to these other projects. Or I'll just go over to Matt's and use his shop. I'm not going to build a dining table in your shop. I'm just kidding. Paul says, my Silent Acoustic has a piezo pickup and a 9-volt preamp for headphones. Yeah, there you go, piezo. With a little preamp. Yep. Sam, did you try the UK chocolate? We have not got down there yet. But I was thinking about it the other day, figuring out a time. Oh, you know what? When I go down to the steel store, I got to look. The steel yard might be nearby. Robert, I've been looking at government auctions for either a generator or a pickup. A couple of $100s for 4K generators, not bad. Yeah, it's not. I have looked at some of those, government auctions, and sometimes the prices actually are pretty good. Sam, build a mansion. Call it the little project. Yeah, we just got a little project going on over here. Nothing big, just a giant house. Paul says, I built several large projects in my 160 square foot shop. I do assembly outside under my driveway carport if needed. Oh, absolutely. I have definitely done projects that are challenging to do in this space. And yeah, I will work outside. Like even when I did all those plaques, the scope of this project is greater than my little work table that I have. So yeah, I set up I don't have a carport, but I do have one of those, 12 by 12 canopy things. I had that set up outside, had the laser up underneath that. I had a workbench, out on one side of the building. I was doing a lot of sanding and prep work over there. I had every area has become part of the shop, including the kitchen table, my guitar setup bench. Everything had a purpose for a few weeks of time there, and it was literally everywhere. So yeah, I have no problem working outside. I actually almost prefer working outside. I just don't have any sort of covered area, which is where it gets to be a challenge for me anyway, because you just never know the weather, right? You don't want to be out there working on a dining room table and all of a sudden it starts raining, and then I got to try to get it in. Sam, you might want to avoid McDonald's. They got a Mick E. coli burger. I've heard something about that. I don't know. I don't go there anyway. I try to avoid fast food most of the time. Once in a while, I don't mind, but I don't eat it often. And it's definitely not McDonald's. So I mean, I'm getting excited to really start working on this sander. I'm hoping I'm not a week too late weather-wise. Tomorrow, or maybe it's tonight, we are supposed to get possibly a little bit of snow flurries. I don't know. Chances are it won't be much, and I'll still be able to, drag the welder out, set everything up, and work outside on this, because I will have to do quite a bit. Well, pretty much all the metal work is going to be done outside. So I don't know how much the weather's going to start messing with me. I feel like I should have got on it a couple weeks ago. I just didn't have all the supplies. So we'll see how it goes. It may take longer than anticipated, depending on what the weather does. And of course, tomorrow's Halloween. I don't know. Is Halloween just in the U.S. or is it in the UK or Australia or other areas? You guys do Halloween, Sam? I don't know. That's like a legitimate question. So we got Halloween stuff here tomorrow, so that'll be kind of fun. But yeah, that's something I hadn't really thought about. Is Halloween just the U.S.? It can't be, right? I don't know. Sam says, how fast is fast food? Not very, the last few times I've been. Sam says, we do bonfire nights. Is that Halloween? Is that the same kind of thing? Because, yeah, bonfires in the fall is great. Oh, Sam says, we do Halloween too. Okay, I just didn't know. I never really thought about that. If it's just, if it's kind of a broader than just the U.S., and I'm guessing it is, because you guys do it over there. I still don't know what we're doing for Halloween. I don't know. My daughter hasn't decided 100% if she wants to trick or treat, which I would have thought she would, but I don't know. She's getting a little older. I don't remember the last year I ever trick or treated. I really don't. Well, last year I did, but I mean as a kid. Sam says Americans are more into Halloween. That was kind of my suspicion, but legitimately I didn't know. And again, like I've said 100 times, that's why I love this platform, and the fact that we can all hang out from all corners of the world virtually. I mean, literally all over the world, and we're just hanging out here in my little shop. And it's just so cool. And I love to learn about the different countries, where some of you live. It's just awesome. Alrighty, so let's see. What projects do you guys have? What projects do you guys have coming up? What's something that you're not working on yet, but you need to get to? I've kind of talked about mine, but I want to know if you guys have any sort of things like that. What projects do you have coming up? Are you looking at getting new tools? What sort of new tools out there have you seen that are maybe catching your eye? Sam says, don't wear platforms. You're a dude. No, right now I got sneakers on, but it won't be long. And I'm going to, I'll be back to the boots, the work boots, which I'm actually quite excited about. And I could be wearing them now, but the sneakers are kind of comfy, and I've kind of been digging them the last week or so. Paul says, guitars, need to finish 3 by Christmas. You'll get them. You'll get them, Paul. Even with the ankle, the recovery and all that, you'll get them done. Guitars are also in the back of my mind too, because I got to start on another one. And I don't have to, right? But I want to. I want to start on another one. Once I get this sander done, right now the sander build is kind of at the top of my list, but I do need to get another guitar started. I don't know yet what that's going to be. I've got back and side sets for an acoustic, that I may or may not start on. Maybe I'll start on a different acoustic. I don't know. I guess I got a cool piece of walnut. Matt, if you're still in here, walnut back and sides. What do you think? Figured. I got quite a bit. We want to resaw some. So yeah, I thought that would be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out maybe another bass, maybe the 5-string or a 6-string. I'm not sure. I'm just pondering the options at the moment, trying to figure out which way I should go. I sort of think I should do another bass, just to, because I haven't fully developed, or I haven't created all the tool paths and everything for the 5-string or even the 6-string. So I don't know. What stands out? What do you think would be kind of cool to see? I've got a cigar box. I could do a cigar box guitar, and it's a really slim cigar box. So I think it would probably be like almost like a thin line cigar box. That'd be kind of fun. I don't know. I think any of them would be great. I just don't know which way to go, what to start on. I kind of like to have a project like that throughout the winter, because then when if I have a project that I'm working on, I can go ahead and do that project. But sometimes maybe the weather's bad or something like that. I can have a project that's kind of ongoing, so there's always something I can be doing. That's what was kind of cool about the acoustic builds, because they take quite a bit of time, and you can just do like a segment, and kind of piece out the build, I guess. And I don't know, we'll figure it out. Just a few things that are kind of on my mind of things that I want to do. Sam says, do you sneak in sneakers? Why not? If not, why are they called sneakers? I don't know. But I can sneak in these. They're pretty sneaky. Robert says, have you ever done a 12-string guitar? I have not. A 12-string is something that I would love to build. Actually, I love the sound of a 12-string. It reminds me a lot of my uncle, who taught me my first few chords on the guitar. He always played a 12-string, and I just love that sound. Every time I hear a 12-string, it could be a song on the radio, it could be somebody playing it, whatever it is. I always think of my uncle, and a 12-string has a soft spot. I got a soft spot for 12 strings. But what I think I would like to do, maybe even before I build a 12-string, is, I've talked about it before, that 8-string baritone guitar, where it's got a 27-inch scale length. It's an acoustic 8-string baritone, so 27-inch scale length. It's a regular 6-string, but the D in the G string, so your two G string, Sam, that's for you. Your two middle strings are doubled up exactly like you would on a 12-string, right? So all of your chords, you're mainly only, and nothing really changes. I mean, they don't really with a 12-string, but you got to push down 2 strings on all of them. This one, you only have it on the center. Plus, it's a baritone, so it's tuned to a B standard, and it's super cool. And I really want to build one of those. In fact, that's what I bought. I have a mahogany back, sides, and top set, so all mahogany. I bought that in anticipation for this build, but I think that's what I want to do. If I was going to build other than a regular 6-string acoustic, I'd probably start working on that 8-string. I got to do some design work on my end to just calculate the lengths for the neck and everything. But it would just be, I want to do like an OM style. I'd love to do it with a cutaway. Which also leads me to doing a little bit more work on my side bender. I got to build the call for bending the cutaway. But I really want to do that. And one of these days, I think I will. We'll start in on the 8-string baritone someday. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but we'll see. Robert says, yeah, 12-strings sound really nice. Oh, they sound amazing. And Paul's last acoustic build was a 12-string, and I've built a couple of 12-string tellies. Oh, that would be cool too. Yeah. There's just something, if you guys haven't seen them, look up the 8-string baritone acoustic. I think Taylor, probably everybody's making them now. I want to say Taylor makes them. I can't remember where all I saw them, but there's a few of them out there. I just like the sound. I do have a baritone telly. There's just something cool about playing your normal chord shapes, but you're tuned to B, or I guess you could tune it alternate from there, but standard baritone's tuned to B, I believe, and it's just got a whole different sound, and it's really cool. Henry's here. Henry says, I've been trying to find a good snow day project. Wood carving, whittling spoons, and spatulas seems interesting. Tried to use one of those big IKEA bags for the shavings, which worked okay. Yeah, stuff like that would be super cool, for a snow day project. Spoon carving, they make it like those spoon gouges for hollowing out spoons. I thought about grabbing one of those at one point because I had made a wooden spoon before, but I used one of those a little carving burr in a Dremel, and it worked actually quite well. But I think there would be something pretty relaxing of just, hollowing it out with a spoon carving gouge. I think that's what they're called. That would be pretty cool. That's a good idea, Henry. Sam, I dare you to sew a teapot spout and handle on that beanie. Robert, if you really want to go crazy, you could build a harp guitar. Well, as wild as some of those are, I got to build something that at least I could play. I don't know what. I don't even know where. I don't know. A banjo, too, is another thing I'd like to make. I do own a banjo. But, yeah, I'd like to build one. CNC out the rim. Sam says the spoon subject could be risky. Don't go there, Sam. Don't do it. Matt says spoon knife's called the hook knife. There you go. That's the technical term. The hook knife. Yes. Yeah, and you just have you done that, Matt? Where you just like carve out a spoon? I did one, not carved, but like I said, with the little rotary burr in the Dremel, and it worked actually really well, and we use it. Henry says carving spoons is pretty fun. Definitely easier on green wood, though. If you can get 70% of the waste out with power tools, the last 30% is very relaxing with hand tools. I can imagine it is. Even just carving, like a little carving. I haven't done much actual carving with actual knives, but I have sat, with a pocket knife and, just carved on a piece of wood, and there's something fun about it. In fact, we just found one of these little carvings that I made. This was back in high school. So this is like back when dinosaurs were roaming, right? I had carved this little duck. I had a 40-minute, maybe 45-minute ride on the bus after school to get home. So I had a lot of time. And back then, the world was a little bit different. Okay, let me just preface this. But we all had pocket knives, right? You can't. It's not the same, all right? But back in the day, we all carried pocket knives. Farm community, a lot of us were farm kids, worked on farms, lived on farms. But anyway, I had a little piece of wood. I probably got it from wood shop or something. I don't know, a little scrap. And for, I don't know, what was it, a day or two? A couple days on the bus, ride home, whittling away. And I whittled this little duck. And my daughter has it now. And it's just this little tiny duck. But it was fun. I don't know why I decided to carve a duck on the bus on the way home from school. I don't know. But I did. And it was cool. Don't do that. If you're watching this now, don't carve a duck on the bus with a knife. Just don't. But like I said, back then it was different. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Paul says, I've done guitars, mandolins, ukulele, and violin. Love the sound of a harp guitar. They do have electric ones. That may be cool to try. A violin. Violin would be cool. My daughter said she wouldn't mind playing the violin, but they don't have violin in her school band. But violin might be neat. It's a stringed instrument. I don't know how that works, but it might be kind of fun. Sam, it's a nuisance. Yeah, it could be nowadays. Don't do that. Anyway, well, we are at the top of the hour, so I'm thinking I got to get back to, maybe I'll put one more coat of finish on this. Get this thing done. God, I definitely need to make some more of these because that is super cool. Spalted maple frame. But got to get back to work. I at least got to start editing. Got to get these things wrapped up so that we can jump into the sander. I got to get to the steel store too one of these times. It's going to be cool. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up. I want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in and hanging out with our weird horizontal layout today. I don't know. Newbies, I tell you what. So you guys, I hope you guys get out in your shops, get out in your workspace, whatever it is. Work on some things, build some stuff, fix some things. Get outside. Now the weather's still decent. Yes, it's supposed to get cooler around here, but I want to encourage all of you to get outside, spend some time, fresh air, all that good stuff. Fresh air and sawdust, right? That should be a shirt. Fresh air and sawdust. I like that. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you for taking some time out of your day to hang out here. Sam says, thanks for the stream. Paul says, have a great week. Sam, be safe. Henry, have a good day. Robert says, has anyone watched any of the Stinnett T Sticks YouTube channel? Carves really elaborate walking sticks. Oh, I feel like I have seen those. Yes. Drizzy Guitars. Cheers. Buddy's here. Buddy, what's up? Buddy says, shalom. Buddy, how are you doing? Getting snow up there? We might get some tonight down here. Right on. That's awesome. Robert says, everyone stay safe and healthy. Excellent. Thank you, guys. We're going to tune out. I'm going to get back to work. Get some things done. You guys stay safe. Stay well. Thanks a lot for watching. And we'll see you next time. Next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Every Wednesday. Right here. Thanks, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time.